fences down there?
Yeah.
Marshall, on that side of the fence is the one that they're talking about is up for sale. And that's the one that everybody's more worried about because it's the passage through here to get to Rock Creek.
How do these people acquire land when it's all Indian country?
That's what they call encroachment.
And can they define encroachment? If I went over there and encroached on there, even though he's going to buy it, I would be in court and probably be in prison for it.
And out here, there's ancestral people that's buried out here that's been here. You know, they've always used it as a spiritual site, so that's what we're protecting. You know, and we're going to fight all the way to save it.
I'm Joyce McDade from Gooding, Idaho. I moved away from my people in 1963, and I was born and raised in Ruby Valley, and my great-great-grandfather was a signature writer on that 1863 treaty. And it took me to get sick to come back to my people. And right now I am fighting tax issue. My husband and I decided we are paying the government to do this to our people. So we refuse to pay the taxes. In the U.S. Constitution, it says enough times that Indians are excluded from taxes. Not once, but 2 or 3 times. Now they're wanting to overlook that. And we went to the tax court here September the 8th, and there the judge, the Washington, D.C. judge, told me and Ernie and I that our treaty, 1863 treaty, was old and we need to update it. So I guess we'll have to dig up old Abe Lincoln to have him rewrite it. Well, they told us that we were citizens of the United States. And we told them that we were never asked to be a citizen. They never came to us to tell us that we would like to be a citizen or, wave flag and all that stuff that they do now. One nation cannot go and tax citizens of another sovereign nation. It's different when you go into their country. There, I can understand that you have to pay taxes, but not on your own land. And they just kind of brush it off. And so that's where I'm at right now.
This was a very special place to my grandmother. My great-grandparents are buried out here. She was a medicine woman. She held or participated in the spiritual gatherings that they hosted for years here. And I can remember coming out here, gosh, I don't know, really young. And I'm 50 now. I come to grips with that. I'm 50 years old and I've been doing this all my life. And I moved away for 27 years. I went and lived in the real world because that's what she wanted me to do. And after working for California tribes for 27 years, I decided it was time to come home. And it's been different. I have 6 children that I've raised, or I'm still raising, I guess. And one day I realized they didn't know what it was like to be Indian because they had grown up in a non-Indian community all their lives. And my son, who is now 25, came home one day and asked me, "What am I?" And I looked at him, and he was in 6th grade. He was 11 years old. And he said, "Mom, what am I?" And I said, "What do you mean, what are you?" And he said, "What am I?" And I said, "But I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean, what are you?" And he says, "We're making this collage at school, and I have to tell them what I am." And he says, some people are from Japan, and some are from India, and some are German. He said, "Where did I come from?" And I said, you came from North America? And he said, I did. And he said, but what am I? And I said, you're an Indian. He goes, oh. And I said, Jason, you didn't know you were an Indian? He goes, I don't know what I am. But they need to come back and be culturized, is what I told him. That's why we were moving back. It's been a very eye-opening experience for all of them to live in Battle Mountain after living in Sacramento all their lives. But I think they needed this, and we needed it. When I left here as a young girl, I spoke our language and spoke with my grandmother constantly, and being there was nobody. There was nobody to have a conversation with unless Grandma came to visit, and that wasn't very often. And so it's really eye-opening to be back here and to offer what I've learned the last 27 years to my own community. So I'm just really glad to be back in the area.